The 26th of April, the year is 2021. Hello and welcome. What a beautiful Monday where the entire country, of course, is in a mood where we are actually celebrating National Flag Day. It's a holiday, but it does not mean sporting activities are not in a process. Otherwise, over the weekend, they were quite active. In the company of Temidlalo, of course, we will look at some of the things that took center stage, mostly the Shuguma program that took place at the Matsanjini North, that is in the Lubombo region. Looking at that, this was the first activity of the year since COVID-19, of course, hit the country. Look at that. Mr. Lamin, of course, took a drive to the Matsanjini North to take us through. He will explain how it went, some of the things that he noted, and how the progress when you look at how the sporting activities and how do people within those regions, such as Matsanjini North, do take sports, and how do they see sport at large. Otherwise, Athletic Association is in preparations for the national championship to take place in May this year, 22nd May. That will be the national championships. So the visuals you're seeing is the first build-up of the athletes, of course, over the weekend at the Mauso Sports Center. They're in preparations. It is also the first activity of the association since receiving a green light from government to proceed with activities early February. Otherwise, we also cross to the African continent and outside the country to look at some of the things that took center stage. Do join us. Do sit tight. It is going to be a lovely show. If you join us on our Eswatini TV app, of course, make sure that you are always up to the standard by following all the rules and regulations. For those who have Skuchan in your house, in your comfort of your seat, you will not miss any word. And for those, of course, outside the country, outside the borders, using YouTube channel, make sure that you do subscribe. He's already in the house, is our own and produced and brewed in the house. That is Temidlalo.
Ngiyabonga Fabrice, ngiyabonga ukuvuselwa ngitithuba lokukhulu ngivusela mali viewers. Fabrice, can I say this just some few seconds? Ngibonge some of Emmanuel viewers, including the most prominent labakhona la event, including Lopete Police Academy, babevusi masuku. Ngicabanga ama comments akhe every time umakasineketa ngicabanga sayasakha and is the ever reliable, the ever present loyal viewer. Nalabanye Fabrice ngeke ngize ngibacethe. Siyabonga kakhulu lama comments njengoba ngihle ngisho ukuthi ayasakha, even nale criticism iyasakha khona la builder code.
I think I think during the national championships he was there, and I think I saw you two having a good conversation. I think it's one of those things where he's mentioning, he's appreciating the work that is done by the team, of course the entire sport team, and of course by Soweto at large.
Kunengilavedile and ke ngibonge even nale team lesebentako from producer unfortunately Tape Sonera parties MCB. You guys are doing a very good job. I'm proud of you. Even the loyal viewers but ngani ngiqhubeke
khona uyakhona man yangithusa man usibona ngathi uyasivalelisa kwendekani.
No, not really. Mina
ngivuke ngayo namuhla.
No, ngipilivela ukuthi Fabrice uyambonga umuntu nakenda umsebenzi, ungameli azahambe, ungameli noma azashone umkhasi bese soyamdumisa. Kanjalo mina Fabrice ngiyayibonga umvasaphila tinvola tendako. You guys are doing a great job.
Now, if you do understand what sport is, you will understand that it does not only take place within the Mbabane-Manzini corridor. Even outside the entire Manzini-Mbabane corridor, sporting activities do take place. Now, when you go to a place called Matsanjini North, that is, of course, you if you know stay at well, you pass by a Good Shepherd Master, you take 2 hours drive a gravel just to go that far to see how people understand when you talk about sport in the country. They were visited by the Eswatini Sport and Education Council and the entire sporting board in the country for the Shuguma program. You were there, Master. They took a drive to the Matsanjeni North to see how even people sport, different associations where they will look at that. But the Shuguma program itself, the initiative, as you'll be explaining about the tour when you went to Matsanjeni North, the initiative, Master, so far, Lomsebendi, so far since 3 years ago. What have you seen so far?
Fabrice kwecala ngiyithanza le ndlela ishukuma lenta ngayo ukuthi ihambe ile etigodzini ile etingundleni ile kubantu this past weekend ihambile ishukuma Eswatini Sports Council Minister of Sports including lonke office lakhe lahamba la eMatsanjeni North labanenge ke bathi ukuthi eMatsanjeni North kusetikhuba undlula estegi nawundlula estegi upass Good Shepherd undlula ngamaphungwane nawundlula ngophungwane then usuku sothutane sofikile wendlula la tikhuba eclinic then ufike la ngundleni bekukhona khona ke le program yakashukuma this weekend njoba ngisho ukuthi Minister of Sports beyikhona lapha iholwa nguye umhlonishwa Harris Matsebulunga labeka khona kule shukuma Eswatini abantu baphumile ke Fabrice labanye babo bothina undlula la kumaphungwane usaya khona le eMatsanjeni North bobabona la ndleleni lokuthi bajaje kufika engundleni bahambe bayoshukuma lengicabanga ukuthi into lenhle lena Fabrice ukuthi bamvu onke letinkundla kufikwe bashukume bamvu bafundiswe ngekushukuma because uyayiva nale reaction la kulabamvu ukuthi bathini ngashukuma Eswatini so
yes uyashukuma Master nyakubona lapha sikujuba but ngisabuka lethi from a Master when you talk about a place like Matsanjeni North how do you then apart from Shukuma itself nawubuka mhlawumbe I want to believe uthone thuba kuba ukuthi banathu intingondla tekudlala tivote kanjani but that's kanjani sport at large because we don't want to end up as a country when we talk about sporting codes babane manzini sekuphelele we want all those places to be part of the sport but sin lwathi kule sport bora kube bakhona bo take ball nyakubona nawe yashukuma la including the likes of Terrible Bembe and everyone but sin ngala ma sports bayatsanza kanganani
Nova more especially ngilalele bomake labadzala ngilalele bobabe labadzala bathi kube senda kanjena ongela malanga ngicabanga ukuthi besitawuphila kadze because babonile even umhlonisho njengoba sikhuluma ukuthi bekunebami labadzala babonile
njengaloba belosimbuka kwemoyeni
so mine bengingajabula Fabrice ukuthi kule program le kutotonke letinkundla letihanjelwe kube kuthiwa kule nkundla kukhona lo muntu lo tafike asale lapha abese sochuba le program kube nguye lo nakekelela le program kubuthi namuhla nje nzamba ngabo 4 5 bafikile bamva enkundleni bashukuma kusasa bafikile bamva enkundleni bashukuma kube nalo muntu lo tawuhlala lapha enkundleni lo tawusebenzisana nemvuna enkundla nebuchopho bayonke lemiphakathi bamvu bashukume kube ngilo sports person wakuleyo nkundla leyo because bamvu bayakudzinga lokushukuma kuqale ke Fabrice kwaqala ngawo ama aerobics bamvu labadzala bawongenela ama aerobics lencabanga ukuthi it's a good thing because every session noma ngabe yebhola noma ngabe cricket noma ngabe rugby noma ngabe yani uqala ngomap mine nguthatha njengomap leli bakwendalo lama aerobics because before after bakwendile lokho bese sekehanja kuyondima activities lehlukene
what indeed it was of course in the Matsanjeni North Master I saw of course some of the well known faces including himself the Minister for Sports Harris Bulunga ukhuluma MP for the same area Philabutele is a well-known face in the in parliament talk about chairman of the Eswatini Sports and Recreation Council Stabeva Master bakutsata sive sakona but the program itself Master it does maybe just to give an overview lo hlele ekhaya ulukatse ukuthi na inkundla yakhe batayivakashira at some point it's from a stin Master what type of activities take place on the day kushukunyisa umthimba bese kwendekana it's in the process ye sport counseling ngale program yashukuma
Le program ya Shukuma Eswatini Fabrice yathi nayisukumisa ngabevakahle baka Sports Council about 3 years ago nangikumbula kahle ukuthi bafuna ukuthi sonke sive simaswati ilonke liswati lishukume, so the best way ukuthi khanjwe ukuyopronyotwa noma khanjwe kwenziwe le activation letinkundleni because bamvu vele betinkundla, so nayihamba ihambela letinkundla Sports Council iyayihambe nema sporting courts letaba ingcenye on the day afike abe part of leyo program leyo on the day bamvu bashukume bendela ama aerobics njoba ngishilo ngathi bacale bendela ama aerobics, then after bawendela ama aerobics bese sekuba nalama sporting court bekhona nje irugby on the day bamvu bafunza ngerugby ema sevens the 7 aside bafunza ukuthi yini kahle kahle irugby yini manje udlala nge7 aside akusiyo ke irugby phela lebekhona on the day emadats bekakhona cricket bekhona tennis bekhona tag ball bekhona nayo so ngicabanga ukuthi maningi lama sporting court bamvu labanye labamangala and nale interest bobona ukuthi bamvu bafuna kuva ngale sport.
Of course, talking about the sport, these are some of the activities, of course, talk about tech ball, talk about rugby, tennis that took place at the Masanjani North on Saturday when the sport fraternity visited the constituency there in the Lubobo region. Now, talking to the entire, constituency and to the members, of course, of the Masanjani North was the Minister for Sports, Harris Bulong. He did highlight that it is indeed quite important for everyone to keep active. Either you work, you're from work tired, but you just get time, that short time, to keep yourself active. Here's the Minister Bulonga expressing his opinion over the weekend at the Masanjani North.
Masanjani North. Ikakhulu umphakathi waseTikuba ngokuthi niphume ngaleti nombolo letingaka siyakujabulela lokho ngoba vele kushukuma kufanele ukuthi kwendiwe wonke umuntu lophilako wala Swatini nasibona inombolo tingaka nje namuhla kuyasijabulisa ukuthi asikasuke lide lembabane sithe kubantu labafisile ukuthi noma ngabe bokuzangacala ukuthi nje ngoshukuma kube ingcenye yempilo yakho namuhla sesewufakile lo mjovo sesilifakile le gcosi lokuthi wena wathi ukuthi kuze uphile uphephe etifeni letifa ekhathi na umkhuhlwane imhlaba lolwa nawo lesithi COVID-19 ukukhanze ukuthi umtimba wakho ucinile emasotsha akho avuke emengetinyawo ukuthi ukhona ukuthi uphephe. Asisho nje ukuthi sine kuta kwethu selitiko netinhlangano lesibambisene nato sisuke sithi ufaka inhlanyelo kepha ke sifisa lokho ukuthi sithi singahamba kungasali kufale kulebe stoku uhlanyela namuhla kufuna sale kuhlakulelwa ngini ngokuthi njengebantu labaphilela nabo emangweni nibuthane nje nakhe lawo ma groups lendaba ovuka ngawo ekseni noma nsambama nasenibuya ngasematohweni noma etikolweni ningene la migwaqweni noma nibuye kona kulona lelibala leli noma lelisedvute nje nane emabala akhona nala tikolweni nishukumise umtimba lokho kuthanisita ukuthi umtimba wenu uhlala usesimeni lesikahle phinze ke kubambisana uhulumende ukuthi ngesikhathi sive singilesiphilile kwecala nje kutaba sive lesikhona ukuthi sikhicide sitaba productive nasemisebenzini lesiyendaba lokunye la kutaba ubambisa uhulumende khona lokushukuma ngiyona indzaba yeko ukuthi ngesikhathi bantu babancane laba labaphike kuphathwa ngule tifo lesetanza tabatineng eveni kusho ukuthi tindlela letiya etibhedlela nasemitholampilo tiyancipha lokusho ukuthi na uhulumende uyabambiseka lapho ukuthi angathikhanzi sekathwele emadima ukuthi i-health system yethu mhlambe seyikhanza seyi-overstretched ngokuthi bantu sebaningi kakhulu labaphathekile. So siyakhuthatha nje lokuthi ningagcini namuhla kepha sale nje kuba ingcenye yempilo yenu ukuthi ngeliviki nje utinike mhlambe amalanga abe mathathu ekushukuma bese uhluphumola ngoba phela umtimba vele nawo uyadzinga lokuphumotwa utohlala ungilophilile. Siyethemba nyalo ukuthi bantu ngeke bajake bese bayahamba semnengo umsebenzi lesingawenda sidena ama associations lahlukahlukene la anesifiso sokuthi anifundise leminye yale midlalo umuntu atokhona lokubona ukuthi uyathi ngingawuzama lo bese ke mhlambe soyawujoyina seyawungenela ukuthi sekuyaba ngomdlalo velela se uyingcenye impilo yakho sinayo i-rugby sinayo i-tag ball sinayo ama-darts sinayo i-athletics kubala nje labambalwa lesite nabo namuhla bafisile ukuthi nibavakashele la ba-set up ekhona nabo cricket nabo tennis ngokuthi ndova ukuthi udlalwa njani lo mdlalo umuntu angawujoyina njani.
The Minister for Sports, Harris Ubulunga, of course, did highlight the importance of keeping active as you stay healthy. As a sports practitioner and as a person we know in the sport industry, Master, utsi at least 3 times a day, Master, 3 times a week, not a day, 3 times a week, funhlalo active. Kumcwanganani, Master, sabuka nje lokusho minister and what was happening at the Eswatini North. On a week of 7 days, at least 3 times, kusho ukuthi kube Monday, Wednesday, Friday, uzame ukuthi utivocavoca.
Yeah, ngicabanga Fabrice ukhulume the most important thing. Wakhuluma ukuthi uhulumende uyabambiseka if emaswati atawukhona ukuthi akwende umkhuba ukuthi at least ashukumise umtimba 3 times a week, because kushukumisa umtimba kusho ukuthi ngifuna impilo yami noma umtimba wami uhlale uhealthy. Lokusho ukuthi ke esibhedlela kutaba kancane wena nje Fabrice uyajima nzambama ekseni uyakangaka esibhedlela ngeminyaka once or once in 2 years esibhedlela. So ngicabanga ukuthi ngileti info leto lekudzinga ukuthi sibangu sti understand ukuthi lokujima kahle kwenta ini, not futhi ukuthi kujima sekumele ngihambe ngiye egym no emgwaqweni noma even lapha ekhaya, because lana nje baleni uyahlala udlala licansi lakho udlala limethi lakho uyashukumisa nje lo mtimba wakho 10 times uyabekela ama exercise 10 times uthatha lokuthatha uyakuphakamisa like nje bebenda beba director instructor. So ngicabanga ukuthi lokujima asikwendeni kube ngomkhuba at least 3 times. Ke nangabe sohluleke mbamba mane uthi Monday Thursday noma Monday Friday.
They have it. Not only the minister was the person to address the gathering on the day, of course, the MP of the specific area, MP Pilar Buteles, also did highlight a few things to encourage both the members of the constituency and, of course, applauding government and the entire Minister of Sports for reaching up to them and giving them some of the encouragements to keep active. Here is MP Pilar Buteles.
Siyami sibonga kakhulu mvuna, sibonga uhulumende ngonyama. Usikhumbula singathonjene nodwa. Kutawende ngomsebenzi lomqoka nakangaka umsebenzi washukuma. Kuliqambo ngithi mvuna kokuthi solo waqala iCovid shukuma waqala aqala eMasanjeni nodwa. Siyakubonga kakhulu umcela ukuthi shayele tanza eMasanjeni nodwa. Ukuthi post Covid tivulwa ngeni Temidlalo. Ngona inkosi siyabonga kakhulu uTiko luphelele kuyakhomba lo sibanjiswe neTiko. Kuba khona lana ungathi kumumdlalo kanzivele emqoka indzaba yokushukuma. Kulokufo manje lesokwendekile namhla imthimba iyakheka. Sifike sinemikhuhlanyana ekuseni kodwa uyithethe sisilapha ihambile imikhuhlane. Seyishukumile imithimba. Nduna ke siyabonga thina sikuMasanjeni nodwa. Ngibonga nje kuwe njengenduna elitiko. Nangikhumbula kwenkundla uda kwesithathu solo singenile eParliament. Eminyakeni yokuqala uTile Nduna sitovula iwater project eTanzania. Eminyakeni wesibili uTile Nduna kunelisuku lwetalabasha besenkundla high school. Siseminyakeni wesithathu namhla sinawe ukushukuma. Siyethemba lokuthi eminyakeni wesine induna itawuphinza isivakashele naseyisisitile youth council kulungisana sakhiwo sebantu abasha itawuta induna itosivula sesisihle sesikhulisiwe kulethe izawuthi emakhona utawuphiza buye eminyakeni wesihlanu sathi umkhankasiso bese minister ngiyadloza utawubuya. Siyabonga nje kakhulu kuphela kwenu isive senkosi sesijimile over 60 ngibonile lapha. Bashaya stoko, bashaya ibathi ivosho. Konke nje kwentekile. Siyabonga kakhulu lokuhambisana.
There you have it. That is Peter Buteles, the Member of Parliament for the Matsanjini North constituency. He's not the only person to speak on the day. Of course, Eswatini Sports and Recreation Council, the main driver, the ring leader of this whole Shuguma program, of course, did highlight that once they are reaching to all different constituencies, it is in their mind to ensure that everyone is active. Chairman of the board for the Sport Council, Dlamini, did also express few things to the gathering. Here is Mr. Dlamini.
Sithanda kubonga silibandla lelathunywa indvuna ukuthi libuke Temidlalo evendangwane lokuthi Shuma bekhona eMatsanjeni. Sijabule kakhulu ukufika la ikakhulu kade ngoba silive ilunga lena laseParliament ukuthi liphefumula kanganani ngale lembala nakhetha bathi ibudodza kabukhulelwa ucela lishayele tani. Sibonge ke ma associations onke la khona kuyinto lenhle lokuthi bantu bonke bathi ngetemidlalo ngokwehlukahlukana kwato lese ukutsatawo nathi lokuthi wonke umuntu kulokulese sikwendile la akabe nesaye ukuthi kuyachubeka kupheli la. Sicela ke kubonga kakhulu nduna kuba khona siyate nhlala nebhizi umgcibelo nelithola lithuba lekuphumula kepha ke kunta kwakho la nathi siyade saba lokuthi sibobani sibonga ke ukuthi basibekele umuntu longilendvo ngoba yikho into lemnanzi lendlula ukuthi umnikethe umsebenzi la ngowona ebhodini kaSavingedwana ke kuna Mr Penga la icele kwami longena akilo lelibandla ngale kwaloko siyabonga management for organizing. Thank you.
All the speeches, of course, made on the day, Master Bokona, it's all about encouraging, the constituency and the members of the constituency to keep active, to ensure that it is not the first of its kind, it's not going to be the last time. They should do that often and often during their own time.
Yeah, it's all about gcizelela kula magama lawo Fabrice ukuthi kudivocavoca noma kujima kuyadzinga lokuthi vele ukwende njalo kube ngumkhuba kona nawusaqala ke Fabrice kuba lukhuni ulaqala nje ngakusasa uvela amaphelekece kanti la maphelekece atawucetwa ukuthi uphinde ubuyele uyojima nawso bese nasokujwayeleke bese sokwendeka kuba ngumkhuba so ngicabanga nje ukuthi abantu basemathanjeni even nalabamvu labaqhamuka ngalambabani including bonke lama teams labe bakhona lapha.
Master, uthi vacavoca mbamba no manje just to ensure that we encourage everyone. No sibukade ngibuka ngozi nyakwathi uthi vacavoca mbamba but on that day ngathi yabo
no answer Fabrice kulesinye isikhathi uyayongenela kulabamvu wayi ukuthi mhlawumbe ufuna kokwenda nje uva naleti inkulumo talabamvu le reaction kulabamvu mina bengilalela labamvu ukuthi kahle bathini bengisemsebenzini kahle bathini ngale shukuma bafiseni ngaloshukuma so ngicabanga ukuthi nangabe ufika kubamvu awungafiki nje uthi ufikile nje lalela lokusibathini exactly awumi ke uthi umile uyalalela wende ngathi nawe uyadivocavoca kana uphindze ulalela.
Okay. No, answered, Master. But not only that happened, the minister, of course, did take a session with the new sport in town, Tech Board, being the sport. And at some point, we're in communication with him. We're sitting at the sport, Master, and how encouraging it is to see everyone excited about the sport. Some of the members, of course, Sakamut Naso, besi involved with the sport as a Tech Board. The minister on the day, when they on the day.
Fabrice, before see a good minister, kuthi tena nase kusuka bamvu sebayiswa kuyofunza ngalama sports lamanye bamvu
ngiyabona you're ensuring what we call COVID regulations
bamvu basemathanjeni basuka cishe half wabo bahamba bayofuna kuva ngetechball. Unfortunately ngalo sakavumeleki ukuthi bamvu basonzelane babe banenge babe sebakhoshiswa ke labanye babo kwathiwa bave bayofunza kula lamanye ama sports base bayasala ke labasele khona la
uthini kulomake Master
i-technique Fabrice yokuthi kahle i-tech ball noma uqala kanjani noma udlala kanjani now save lo ngicaba ukuthi sport person nawe as a sport person kumele wathi ucishe onke lama sports wathi ama basics akhona ukuthi kahle adlalwa kanjani wasefika ke minister wacela naye ukuthi ucela kudlala nje tech ball because is a former football player le technique isesekhonyana udlalile ke adlala naye Stanford Ncube wawina ke minister nguye bekuyi game 2-5 ufike ekuqala ke minister kuma point lang 5
ngiyabona master ukuthi you can see there is something as a former football player that he knows what he's doing.
Kakhulu ngicabanga ukuthi ukukhombisa nje Fabrice ukuthi he's a sport person ucishe onke lama sports nakafika khona ufike khona lothi ahlanganyele nawo na tech ball uyizamile njengoba ngisho ukuthi even naye nawumbona nje udlala ukhululekile and washo ke ukuthi kusamele ukuthi adlale noma bangasukuna i-social team yayo le tech ball angeke aza mind but vele ufisele ukuchubeka ayidlala.
What a lot to learn about the sport, of course, and the entire program of Shuguma. And now the Sport Council, of course, say Wanyalo, they are going to, later on this month to let the country know Sabayagopi next month, because it is in their program to ensure that each month from this April towards the end of the year, they visit every constituency that we have in the country. So by at the end of this month, we know that going forward they are going to which constituency. But it will be also another chance, of course, to give you another picture. Would see not only do they visit Matsanjini North, but they went somewhere else. We keep in touch and find out where to be. And of course, our in-house analyst Linda Dlamini will keep a close eye. Master Konof Naunget.
Nakusho nje Fabrice ukuthi cishe ngiyajabula ngendlela ematubane lenda ngayo Thoba beka khona esimunye Thoba ku athletics Thoba mazibuko mabhalano wa athletics beka khona so senze esimunye estegi yes beka hambe nasho uma Eswatini ngicaba ukuthi ngihappy ngalendlela ka athletics labenda ngayo sibabonile some few weeks ago wa partnership na football association kanti ba partnership nayo futhi iPLE na kunyalo kushukuma siyambona kancane Thoba
futhi indlela yabo yokuhamba nje baye different parts of the country ukuthi bazame ukurecruit laba badlali abancane nje lama athletes namancane for the future njengoba sathi ukuthi the well known faces are from such places.
Yes nasahamba nje la sibheka khona na undlula khona estegi undlula kumaphungwane kunesikolo lapho kusembundle lapho kufunza khona Sibusiso Swazibolt Mathenjwa lengicaba ukuthi vele badlali labagijimako bathola khona etigodzini labaqhamuka khona ngengabekisa ngathi naphumlile bekafunza khona eNvonjeni sebenele wa primary yakhe wayendela kaHlatsi eJerusalem so ngicaba ukuthi vele na ufuna tingijimi kahle Fabrice yes edolobheni tatithola tingijimi because bayasuka labanye bese batowendele high school edolobheni but kahle na ufuna ema juniors noma ka development hamba kuma regions utabathola.
And of course, Thoba Mazibuga, I want to believe part of his main assignment as the Secretary General of the Athletic Association, he was there to serve that purpose. Now, talking about athletics, it is on the top 3 list of sporting codes that Mr. Dlamini has to his close chase. Talk about cricket, talk about athletics and football. That's him. I've described him. Now, talk about athletics. They did have a build-up for the national championships over the weekend, which means on Saturday, it was Shuguma. Sunday, athletics were in action. Of course, Master Dlamini, our in-house analyst, was, of course, again in action at Mavuso to try and see what was happening. Master, what figure kanza?
Yeah, Fabrice kanzile Mavuso ukuthi in fact bebane ma preparations build up leya kuma national champs le build up ke iba ngu2 iba imbili lebe ikhona nge weekend beke kuqala le tawulandzela itaba khona mhla ka8 abe khona ke ema races on the day of Fabrice baqalile nje baqala nge 1.5 meters balandzela nge 400 kweti 100 onke lama stages bawentile sibonile ke even ema young athletes la khona lobona ukuthi ngekhamba kwesikhathi batawuhamba nabo bagcina ba compete even the basics uyabona ukuthi yes kona kusalekhisha but kancane because ngicabanga ukuthi involvele kugcina uyiperfectile ukuthi ungene ekhathi ku track u practice.
Beautiful. Of course, we're seeing the likes of Bongiyo Mahladela there finishing as first. And of course, the relays were there on the day. Master, I know it's the first one, but we hear from the association spokesperson, Victor Dlamini, aka Mavikan. But Gubuga Wako Master, through your experience as a sport that you like, are they quite behind? Singasho ukuthi basemuva yini nge-standard sabo nawubuka ukuthi sebahlele kakhulu ngezathu seligciwane i-COVID nawubabuka nje compared to the way lubatingayo bo Spesihle bo all those athletes, what did you get from the athletes nawubabuka nje in their performance?
Fabrice ngicabanga about 4 athletes uyawabona ukuthi bona kukhona kujima bebakwenda but the other athletes ngikhuluma ngama athletes la njengabo Spesihle ubala Spesihle from ireps na emahlalela and labo uyababona ukuthi vele bayakhona ukuthi bajima bobabili labanye cishe uyababona lokuthi ba behind kakhulu even labanye bagain ne weight uyabona ukuthi bagain weight akusiyo ibody athlete le uyabona but njoba ngisho ukuthi labanye babona ukuthi bebavele bashima lencabanga ukuthi bokhoshi babo kudinga ukuthi bacikelele kakhulu i diet kula lengithini nebagain weight bese nalo trainer ukuthi ba trainer kanjani ba trainer kangakho ngelanga ba trainer kangakho ngeliviki otherwise it's promising. I'm happy ngale ngubonile despite lokuthi bahleli isikhathi lesinganani bangajimi banga practice otherwise laba lesebavele bacinile bo Spesihle days Spesihle uyambona lama strides akhe ukuthi he's a professional sprinter and uyajima uyadinika isikhathi sekujima.
Of course that is Master's way of seeing things, Master's opinion. And why now can we not listen to Victor Dlamini, the public relations officer of Eswatini Athletics Eswatini, and tell us what as an association they think happened on day one and what they saw and what should be improved, similar to maybe what Master said, that there's a bit of slightly being behind. Asimuve Victor Dlamini asichazela ukuthi kuhambe njani la ngenokuqala.
Umvakasho lokuthi lena i-first build up yela national championships lataba khona mhla ka 22 kuMay. Umvakasho lokuthi le standard asikahle hle manje lama athletes uyabona ukuthi atimisele likhona lithemba because lama build ups ukuthi batibone lokuthi bemekuphi and then kuthi ayisibili build up funa simvaphakamise then bema financial checkers umvuso uready lama national check. Otherwise si happy as a federation lokuthi ema clubs etile in their numbers and the performance is promising lokuthi lama athletes basifika kule main event atabe asalungele because vele le purpose yalama build ups ukuthi si prepare lama athletes for the national champs la khona kunga May 22 mshana.
Usakhuluma ngama build ups mlangeni mhlawumbe umuntu angatibuta ukuthi ithini program kulandzela i second build up sit for kanjani itaba khona nini nalokuthi kule second yini ukadziwe tibona yini tingijim letingulu atala eveni sabuild up kulo mhla ka 22 what's going to happen forward.
Angibonga mshana umvakasho lokuthi le build up yesibili itaba khona mhla ka 8 kuMay and lapho vele mshana angisho ukuthi kude i-athlete leta ungena ama national championships ingangeni ku-one of lama build ups so nyalo of course ama athletes la ku scholarship ku high performance eSkhwahlande and we are expecting them ngalomhla ka 8 May because vele ngeke umuntu aza angena ama national champs angagijimi kuyinye yalama build ups lesinawo mshana wami.
Okay. Sebo.
Victor Dlamini, also known as Mafikane, a well-known face in the sports industry. Talk about football, he's been there. Talk about athletics, he's there now. He was having a quite a beautiful conversation with his Umshana, the Mofso Sports Center. Master Nangmuva, it's quite a lot of work to be done, but the second bid up, on the 8th next month, we get a clear picture, would see Stabanema National Championships Anjan. Mostly because this was the first activity since they were given a permission to proceed with the activities.
Singasho nje Fabrice ukuthi lona beku stage 1 stage 2 baya kuye then kufikela the big event lokuma national championships lo stage 1 ke betikhona ngijimi kodwa betingakapheleli inqumbi yato njoba asho ukuthi ti high performance center in South Africa sibagatsile bosibuso matsenjwa ukuthi bangene ku stage 2 bophumulile nzini sabangene ku stage 2 bolusengwa bangene ku stage 2 bosebenele bangene ku stage 2 but ke Fabrice ngicaba ukuthi njoba asho ukuthi vele bengugadzile nje nombuto ukuthi what if the big guns angangeni kulama build ups avela ngene kuma national championship but uyasho ukuthi every athlete litawugijima kuma national champs umuntu lotabe abeyingcenye yalama build ups so lalabe bangekho
it's a
procedure labe bangekho ku stage 1 ku stage 2 noma kanjani babhekile ukuthi babe khona.
Quite beautiful stuff, of course, Master. We can see clubs like
Slow Jaws, yes. Ema club la njengabo Slow Jaws, Manzini Athletics Club, bese TZD, Reps, Correctional, cishe beka khona amelelekile. Cishe
Manzini Athletics, yeah.
Manzini Athletics itake yena Mabuza, long national team coach futhi. Uyababona ke nabo labo cishe ukuthi bacoachwa nguvulo lo professional. Lokhona kususa athlete pass ayiphakamisa ayibeke etulo igcine perform kahle.
Must I think there's a bit of a conversation and being I think if you look at the talent that is there when you talk about athletics, and I don't want us maybe to sound like we have anything against other sporting causes, but then maybe isn't it high time that a budget for some sporting codes where it's been noted that there is talent. There should be more to be put so that we can see the exposure outside. Talk about athletics. And I think if you look at where we are, maybe we should start saying, you know what, Skatsaswasipol sesiyapela. Skasaphumulile sesiyapela. Nangu bonge mahlale lwaqhamuka, nangu specific lamini yaqhamuka, nangu bo Andelu saying that they are coming up. They can take us so that, if you see the logo of Eswatini Athletic Association, you say together for gold, which means we're still chasing that gold. Do you see, is it a sport with quite potential? Good sing for the gold. It doesn't have to be necessarily Olympics or Commonwealth Games. Start by a regional tournament. Are we capable of getting a gold on a tournament like that, with a sport like this? Nanga is capable. What can we do to emphasize that financially?
Yeah, Fabrice ndawusho now. First, sport kudinga ukuthi si attract ama sponsors.
True.
Kwesibili kudinga ukuthi lo msindvo la kulabantu uya emavuso wena uyo cover ema athletics. But le mavuso utafe ukhulume ngebhola. Kukutshela ukuthi la engcondweni yakho le bhola usayirate ngetulu kwala lamanye ama sports. But once lo msindvo bonke bantfu bakhuluma ngema athletics, bakhuluma ngeManzini club ukuthi mina my team is Manzini athletics club, my team is Reps, my favorite athlete nguSibusiso. So ngicaba ukuthi lapho kutabe kuyasinika lesithombe ukuthi swasase serious lama sports, uyabona ukuthi nabo bende kahle. Okay, ukhuluma ngokuthi ama athletes bosibusiso bayaphuma, but every time nabefika siya kuma national champs Sibuso will dominate.
It's a given.
Phumulile will dominate. Why can't the other athletes angayivali le gap? Because if sitsine on the right, yes, we're on the right track, but sihamba kancane ma baby steps. Because if bese ku right track, bese ngasho ukuthi kulama national champs akawwini Sibusiso akawwini Phumlile yes bona banale advantage because at the moment bakhaya performance eSouth Africa la labanye bala kangwane abakhona kojiwe but akubonakala la ngingakhuluma before ngathi mina the last athlete yekushiya Sibusiso nguSebenele Dlamini 2015 that's 6 years ago so le gap ngicabanga ukuthi mina itawuchubeka ibe khona before sikhulume ukuthi ibudget nethi le sports sithatha serious kanganani asengubekisele ngala bholeni for the past 10 years or 11 years mangakho ama teams la win league Royal Leopard win league Young Buffaloes win league Green Mamba win league Mbabane Swallows win league I'm talking about 4 teams
consistently
la win league 4 teams uyabona uhambo uyekunala manye ama sporting courts bo volleyball nakhona reps correctional
UADF yes
you need ukuthi the other teams aphakamise sandla now a compete kubonakala ukuthi le league i competitive before sikhulume ukuthi leso sport leso siyahamba sithola ibudget lenkulu kakhulu ukhuluma ngabo sikhuluma ngegolf ukuthi igolf week in week out baba nema tournament awuboni iwinner yinye every day bayashintshana that's the sport lesikhuluma ngaso ukhulume ngabo tennis tennis sikhuluma ukuthi kunema youngsters la sukumako bo Bruce not so long ago washaywa
all of the likes of love
yes the juniors uyabona so kudzingeka lo ukuthi lo sahlele isikhathi lesithe kuleso sport leso akabe nayo competition kufike nasithi thina sifuna le sport esikhulu akafike lo mncane afike amshaye kubonakala ukuthi wo vele kungalingisi njengathi iBundesliga lapho khona iBayern Munich yathi ukuthi itawina ileague or nakulebe kwende Italy ukuthi Juventus tawina ileague uyabona akube nale competition.
Now that is Linda Dlamini. That's why we have him in the studio. He answered it, he emphasized it, he went over and over emphasized it. And of course, what I took from what he said, let it first be the work of the athletes to speak for itself before sicala kukhala ngetimali. I'd seen them athletes on the day that took place in the first edition of the championship. Here are a couple of them expressing their day one activity.
Okay, game day one, I think uhambe kahle because today was to go there and do my best. Although khaza sengatiboni, but I believe today ngendile lebe ngimele ngiperform today ngi-right nge-performance yami sekutawudetermine isikhathi nesetiphumile ukuthi ngende njani but so far so good again.
Labaningi babelieve ngathi wena solo on the right track ukuthi ungathatha over from Phumlile. Ithini kahle le target kuma national champs?
Okay, le sport sethu kahle si sisterhood. So if it means I have to improve ngifike kuye it's someone nami lengibuke kuye. So if it means ukuthi kuyendeka one day ngibala khona it will make me happy. At the same time angifuni ukuthi nilete umfana lengizokukhona. So I have to go ngepace yami because now she had her pace from my under 17 to my under 20 till 10. So la ngikhona I think I'm on the right path following her even if it means to overtake.
Target kulama championships yalonyaka?
Okay, I don't have a target basically this year. A target leninayo na training partner wami. We preparing for the African Champs nema Commonwealth. Sifisa sethu but sisqualify sihambe siyo performer sisqualifyile not good we have cashless processing account but we share is to train hard qualify and go perform there.
My preparations think coach ukhona wabonile my mistake will come back stolungisa. I'll hear from the coach ukuthi uboneni because mina I was just pushing with pressure. Coach utobe angitshela ukuthi execution technique power distribution it's very kanje.
Asete ama national champs mhla ka 22 May. Itarget yakho itsini ubuke?
No, I want to go to the podium obvious. I feel like play so I mean I just want to keep pushing so that I'm looking for next year my Commonwealth Games. I want to push very hard. Good thing to perform. I want to go there, sit and live and be proud of myself that's what I'm capable of doing.
angikhali ngicabanga ukuthi leyo competition le right but ke ngeke ngijudge ngale because bantu abakapheleli kahle so ngathi I have to show ukuthi ngiphetheni kule second so that ngizokwazi ukusingelela kangakanani for my national championships.
Isikhathi sakho utargethe siphi 200 ukuthi ubuke ukushaya 20 90?
Yeah, for now 200 ngathi ile target main target ukuthi ngibe below 22 bese ngigijime comfortable ku 21 then ku 100 times ngibe below 11 ngigijime 10 without a problem.
To some, it's all about personal best. By bitanga personal best, kusho ukuthi trying to improve isikhathi sakho. Nangabe before with 100 meters, bumchitha after 25 seconds, uzama ku-improve ukuthi at least umchitha within 20 seconds or 18 seconds. That is personal best. Kulabanye, it's all about getting qualification ukuthi bamele live emidlalweni yangaphandle, ikakhulu kade ma-African Championships nama international indoors. Uyabeva master bayachaza ukuthi cha, it's day one. They can't really say bad things about their performance. But banelithemba ukuthi come second edition they will prove us wrong.
Yeah, ukhuluma ngema PP personal best letikhasi le bayafuna ukuthi batishaye. Ngingajabula Fabrice ukuthi once kube neliswati lelitawushaya ku 200 echaya 19. Because leso sikhathi kuma Olympics lo shothi kukhona la singasinika bona
so sethu kwa 19
so 20 years 20 ku 100 sishaye 9 if sishaye 9 I promise you kuma Olympics kuningi lokungakhulunywa ngeSwatini but at the moment sishaya 10 100 meters so idimvo leto lengisho ukuthi kancane but lama baby steps ngicabanga ukuthi ngiyola la siphathamisa but nje ngicabanga ukuthi lama athletes ayatimisela I remember nje ngicala kubona yena Special Dlamini asaqala ukungena ama athletics 2014 before even angene ku reps atrainer la Prince of Wales yedwa in fact bangasiyedwa ayedwa inkombatana and the other guys utibuta ukuthi lo mfana kahle ufuna in lona but unyalo cishe 7 years later lemphumela iyabonakala kancane iyabonakala and now uyamove vele ukuthi kahle ka target move utarget isikhathi so ngiko lo kudzingeka la kuma athletes
must ayetama Olympics this coming June July no talk about ukuthi as a country we at this point in time sisengakade ukuthi who is going to represent us due to the procedure lefunilanzelwe we have to wait for the International Olympic Committee ukuthi isibhekele ma conditions ukuthi who has qualified who stands a chance but at the end of the day when you look at 70 to 80% athletics will have a representative noma kanjani we have someone to represent us and in similar case the likes of Swaziport you talk about Pumuli you talk about Andy Rusenga they are the familiar faces kungendeka basimelele kule midlalo leyo master are we at a point where now singasho ukuthi we singakatsa lokuhlukene this time around I mean but for us cuts on time they went for high performance and I think stories have been coming out that he's doing both of them 3 of them are doing well in South Africa if they are to take part this year are you expecting any differences maybe any new results compared to what they had in the past considering good master now buga where they are heading in terms of age in terms of experience we fading out kancane singasho ukuthi they are at their last stages of the international performance ngisikhathi nyalo ukuthi kungene nangu labantwana abancane
Fabrice abathi bangena labamvala abancane sibabona ukuthi bayatimisela because ngengaveta before ngathi yena Sibusiso waqala ku-Gijima International 2009 and now ngathi uyabuka cishe labagijime nabo uphi Mlandvo Shongwe Mlandvo Shongwe ngicabanga ukuthi ngagcina kumbona 3 years ago noma 4 years ago kani naye uyile ma Commonwealth Games hamba nabo Sibusiso but look at Sibusiso Mathenjwa solo ukhona Phumlile Nzinisa solo ukhona so ngicabanga ukuthi even the youngsters abathi nabafuna kubamba le level leyo asebahlale babe consistent but nje la Gijimeni babe consistent eGijimeni si improve lesikhathi sabo because inyalo sekuma Olympics sikhuluma ukuthi Sibusiso ushaya 10 ku 10 point ku 100 meters even na 11 lesinye isikhathi ku 200 meters ushaya 20 even na 21 lesinye isikhathi so ngicabanga ukuthi lesikhathi la kuma Olympics siyasilimata vele kakhulu kanti siyadzinga lokuthi ba improve bangahlali nje la ku 2021 20 22 because labanye nje incumbi yabo ngeweekend 200 meters babagijima ku 20 point 100 meters 11 point 12 point sikhathi leso lesingajabulisi in South Africa we have bo Akani Simbini bamlaba Akani Simbini wathi nakafika nje kuma athletics wagijima 3 events wabashaya sub 9 washaya 9 point ku 100 meters umbona lo mvu uyadimisela uyati nokuthi udla ini akadli ini ulala nini so ngicabanga ukuthi le tinvo leto kudzinga ukuthi labo coach batify kakhulu kulama athletes
a lot of things quite to be done of course by different association to assist athletes njengala ukuthi ayiveta master ukuthi mostly it's all about lifestyle. How do you then prepare yourself to such an event? How do you then take care of yourself after the event itself? Now moving on, in the last few minutes we have international master. A lot is taking place. Utsi Florentino Perez la maqembu laphumile ku European Super League anelichara because there is a binding contract. The binding contract master nasingayichaza kusho ukuthi if mina nasivumana ukuthi every Monday fune sibela emoyeni for Temidlalo bese wena master uyasukuthi ithi awusafuna kuba khona Monday futhi ngakucharge because savumelana ukuthi ufuna ube khona uthi ke Perez Florentino Perez president wa Real Madrid la maqembu ase England lang 6 the big 6 we talk about Atletico Madrid yase Spain and Inter Milan and AC Milan. They sign a binding contract, so for that reason they can't come out and say they don't want to be part of the tournament anymore. Shotsi kukhona lokuncane funeka bakubhadala.
Ngicabanga ukuthi Fabrice sike sayiveta indzaba European Super League levetiwe last week lebefa 6 teams from England lokufaka ikhathi ni big 6 vele lokuyi Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, Chelsea, Tottenham. Asayaphuma ke lama teams lawo kani uthi ke Florentino Perez president wa Real Madrid lokunguye lasongule yonke le European because bama tycoons ngala bholeni uthi basayina lama teams bahlala phansi kwasayinwa kuthiwa sawungena la European Super League futhi le mali lebekiwe iyabajabulisa but ke nasebaphuma sebayambetray and sebaphula nalolo bhaliwe la kule contract lokusho ukuthi bana unawe amandla ekwacharge lawo ma teams lawo but ke dinenge le team because na FIFA uthitela abadlali abantu aba part of ile European Super League but awuphuma ku World Cup ngeke bangene ku World Cup ya FIFA ngeke badlale ku Champions League.
Master njengoba sibuka kule screen lama teams lasele mhlawumbe I think lapha na Atletico Madrid yaphuma shothi nasingathi na Inter Milan yaphuma na AC Milan nyalo kusele Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus bangakhona yini ukuchubeka ne tournament bang 3
ngeke baze bakhona ngicabanga ukuthi the two teams more especially as Spain i Real Madrid bengeke iphume because isuswe ngaphathwayo i Barcelona nayo ngeke izikhona ukuphuma because i Barcelona politically Barcelona bekumele aphume kula liga after i Catalonia ithole independence from Spain bekumele iphume but Florentino Perez wadlala inzima lenkulu ukuthi ingaphumi Barcelona so ngicabanga ukuthi that's appeasement agreement
bamconnect at some point
exactly so bamkweleta vele kakhulu bengeke nje bese siyaphuma i Barcelona kule European Super League i Juventus ke ngicabanga ukuthi nayo financially isabukela okuningi kakhulu beyibukela okuningi kakhulu kule Super League but is over ukuthi ingabe ichubeka kanjani uthini yena Perez.
And of course, moving on, Master, a lot of things took place over the weekend. Talk about a EFL Cup final, Pep fourth tournament final winner. You talk about Manchester City. Master, now a coach like Pep. I think there were a lot of talks over the entire month. Good Singende got such a 14 goal machine 1 year. What happened over the weekend is that previous weekend they lost against Chelsea in the FA Cup. Now they have left with 3 tournaments, being the FA Carling Cup, which they won, Champions League, and the league. They are too close to win the league, 2 games away from winning the league. But how critical it is ukuthi singamthemba ukuthi njenge team yaseNgland angakhona ukuphuma athathe ingomisho kulama teams lasele kuluma ngabo Madrid nabo PSG.
Fabrice yena Pep Guardiola uthi nakafika vele eNgilandi Manchester City beyimfunele kahle kakhulu iChampions League because ileague bebayiwinile kuMancini bayiwina kuPellegrini wafika naye wayiwina Pep uyiwinile iFL Cup ngeweekend against Spurs lengicabanga ukuthi udlale kahle but nyalo sekusele invalidisele kakhulu iChampions League la solo ekolodi Manchester City emlandweni wayo ayizange seke ifike kuma finals ayizange seke iwin so yena Pep Guardiola nyalo kuma semifinals kune PSG kune Chelsea kune Real Madrid bese sekuba ne
it's those four. It's PSG, Madrid, Chelsea,
na Manchester City. Yes. Lincaba kusi kulo four teams lo sele. For me, nangibuka PSG cishe this year ifuna improve
because badala kusasa masa ngalesibili.
Yes, because last season Champions League bafike final bakokwa iBayern. Bese sekuba neMadrid. iMadrid ngeke uzu count out ku Champions League bawine 13 wama Champions League and Zidane uyona ka 3 lanzelana so ngicabanga ukuthi for Pep kudzinga ukuthi endlule kuma semifinals if endlula kuma semifinals because kuma semifinals udlala ne PSG wadlula ku semifinal against PSG then une chance
uthina ngale nkulumo master lethi once you beat the best should you are the best my defending champions in Munich PSG yabashaya.
No, it's a level. No, it's a level.
Once you beat the best, you're the best.
You beat Bayern Munich. For the past 10 years, you beat Bayern Munich, you win the cup, or Bayern Munich win the cup, or you beat Barcelona along the way, you win the cup. Barcelona koko PSG. PSG. Bayern koko PSG.
Short it's usine PSG nya.
Ema odds. Akomba PSG.
Now, talk about best players to ever exist in the English Premiership, what we call Hall of the Fame. Henry, in the company of Aaron Shearer Master, singathini ngalo mdlalo lona singasho ukuthi nawo kulaba kulandzela wena ku social media, ku Twitter na ku Facebook na Instagram, uyutsanze kumvetho umpost. These two icon master, all-time goal scorer top in England, Aaron Shearer 260 goals. We talk about Henry 185. Laba bantu master kulesikhathi bowuthanza ukubukela English Premiership bakujabulisa kangakanani.
Talk of Thierry Henry, the GOAT is the best ever English Premier League player. Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi even kwavoto kwabane poll le votwako wavotelwa ina Thierry Henry as the greatest Premier League player of all times. In fact na ungathi uyabala Fabrice I top scorer in England uyiwine ka 4 I record le kude lomnye umdlalo wawina iGolden Boot 4 times. Also is the only player lofike 20 assists per season as a striker. In fact nje kuleague yonke ukuthi umdlali Kevin De Bruyne uzamile kwenda lokho so namuhla beba honorisha yena Thierry Henry banaye Alan Shearer ku Hall of Fame, the first two players ever kungena Hall of Fame yaka Premier League. So ngicabanga ukuthi into lenkulu kakhulu leyo Fabrice nga contribution.
Hall of Fame nasingayichaza ngeSwati Master ini Hall of Fame.
I Hall of Fame ngisho ukuthi ungena kule kuloluhla lebantu laba honorishiwe kuba ngu the best ever.
Shothi la kangwane nangithi singaba nayo singafaka boSkaratindo.
Yes, ku Hall of Fame if Football Association ya decide akubafaka.
Sengizama ukuyiletha ngala kusokuthi lo sibukela ku understand ukuthi sikhuluma ngani.
Yes, Hall of Fame now decide akubafaka labo bo Colgate ubafake labo bo Yuki Masina uyabafaka labo so ngicaba ukuthi dinvolete kanjalo lo move lo honorishiwe ukuthi udlale inzima lenganani kuleyo category leyo nawe if Eswatini TV anga decide ukufaka ku Hall of Fame angakufaka dinvolete kanjalo so ngicabanga ukuthi ba deserve. These are two best strikers.
Siyama masa time is against us of course, but when you talk about strikers someone like Harry Kane, I mean at the age of 26 Harry Kane singasho ukuthi in 3 or 4 years angaba overtake even because there are talks ukuthi in terms of even being a top scorer
if
he can even reach 200
if asadlala Spurs ngeke forget because solo ku career yakhe kodwa inkomo ishila iwinile. Thierry Henry won i golden trophy Alan Shearer won league ne Blackburn Rovers. So we understand how big these players are.
All right, there you have it. And of course, looking at on my time and on my calendar, things are not looking good for us. Time is against all of us. Of course, we have to love and live. Otherwise, when you look at in terms of Premier League activities, of course, they'll be taking place over the midweek. And of course, coming to Thursday on our program, Libo Eswatini, with my colleague Patricia Msibi, we are going to highlight a couple of things that took place over the weekend, results, and of course, getting to the weekend, some of the things that took place. He's going to be also in the presence of Patrice and Mr. Lamini to talk about those things. Otherwise, for us, the entire crew, the entire program, do stay blessed. Otherwise, keep updated on anything that happens here on Eswatini TV. Because as a team, Silver Nons.